If you've ever seen someone post online about earning $40,000 a month or sipping a coconut sitting on a beach in Bali, then you've probably thought to yourself, that sounds a little bit too good to be true. And it's a fair thought. And that's what we're going to be unpacking on today's episode. Is remote sales a big scam? Is it a pyramid scheme? Or is remote sales legit? Welcome back to the Remote Sales Podcast. I have been in remote sales since 2017. After my business went bust, I found remote sales. In my first 12 months, I was selling a product program and I made $300,000. And I was living in Bali. I was working some days as little as 4 hours. Since then, I've helped over 500 people make their transition into remote sales from whatever they were doing, selling or running a business, or just doing something that wasn't really serving them, and helping them do what I did, which is change their life and build a life that they really want to live through this amazing space with remote sales. But I get it. There is a lot of speculation. Is this a scam? Is this too good to be true? I stumbled across remote sales in 2017 after things went south in my business. I was a fitness business owner. I had built a company that worked with Anytime Fitness gyms around Sydney and Perth. I had built it up to about 30 or 40 personal trainers that were working for me. We had several $1 million in revenue, about 3.5. And, I had a great lifestyle. A few business decisions, bad decisions, and ultimately the model sucked a bit and the business went under. And personally for me, I went back to square one. Actually, I went reverse. I went into a bit of debt. I didn't go bankrupt, but I was in debt. So not only did I have no money, but I was owing money at the end of it. And so I went from, in my eyes, the penthouse where I was the business owner, I was driving a nice car, I was living a great lifestyle, I had lots of people working for me, there was a bit of ego associated to that, to the shit house where now I was back in the gym floor. I was working, at the time, I was working at Anytime Fitness in Potts Point, which is down in a bit of a basement. At the time, it was down in a basement. It was like a dungeon. And I was back on the gym floor. I was training clients face to face, counting reps. And that's not where I wanted to be. That's not where I thought I'd be in my, at the time, early to mid 30s. And I was looking for a way out. I needed a way out. I was like, man, I wasn't going to be staying on that gym floor forever. That wasn't the career goal for me. And one of my friends had started a company. He'd started this side hustle. At the time, he was a director and owner and a founder of a massive real estate company in Sydney. And he started this course business as a side hustle. He was teaching everyday people how to start their own business in real estate and quit the 9-to-5 and get out and build a business and earn money and do their thing. Have fun and just build a life by design. And he was doing that as a side hustle. It was a course. He had developed a video program. He would jump on for one call a week with clients or with the people that were in the course. He was charging at the time $5,000 or $6,000, and it started going really well. And we were good friends. I'd see him at the cafe most mornings. His office was across the road from where I lived in Potts Point, and things started to get really busy for him. We'd go for breakfast, or I'd see him at the cafe. He's on the phone. He's taking calls. He's getting deposits. He's taking payments. He's got people coming back to him. He's got new calls. He's got to go quickly duck out and take a new call. And it just started to get quite unmanageable. And until one day I said, hey, dude, let me take a couple of these calls. I knew how to sell. That was my jam at Rapid, which is my fitness business. I trained over 150 personal trainers on sales. That was how we built the business, was through my sales system. And I was like, man, I fancied myself. Let me sub me in, coach. I'm ready to close. I want to get the fuck off this gym floor. So that was the kicker. That was where it started. It wasn't me going, hey, what is this remote sales space? What is this high ticket space? Is it a scam? Is it not? It was my mate had started a coaching program. He then became overrun with sales calls, and it was taking him away from doing the thing that he needed to do, which is coach and build his business. And so I got subbed in. For the first 30 days or so, I got my ass kicked. I was used to selling in person. I was used to selling fitness. I was used to being the guy. So now selling a real estate education program, a real estate business education program to savvy investors, sophisticated investors at the time, I found it quite difficult initially. So I got my ass whooped. But I knew that if I could get at least 3 sales a week at the time, if I made a sale, I earned $850. So I would have my gym stuff. I had my other little side hustle that I was trying to get a little fitness coaching business off the ground. And then I had these calls. And so I'd open up my calendar for a few hours a day and calls would just land in there. People would go through a Facebook funnel. They'd watch a video. And if they like what they saw, they'd book a phone call and they'd have to go through a survey. They'd answer some questions. And if the questions were correctly answered, they'd land in my calendar. And then I was closing. I'd have to jump on and take them through a process, understand where they're at and what their goals are, what their problems are with what they were doing, what they really wanted, what they, how they saw that this program or this pursuit was going to fit into their lifestyle. And then I'd, take them through a pitch and try to close them at the end. And if I close them, I got $850. And for me, that was a lot of money at the time. And so after 30 days or so, I started to get it. I got a few wins. I got a few sales. I had a money dance that I used to play NWA song and Keep the Bells Ringing. That's the song I used to play in my lounge room every time I got a sale. And I was just selling my lounge room. So it wasn't high ticket sales. It wasn't remote sales. It wasn't this industry, this thing. It was just me sitting at my, dining table. I was in an apartment, so it was a dining table, sitting at my dining table, looking out the window on the phone. No script, no CRM. It was really sort of raw operation, really bare bones operation. And eventually I started to develop a script and I got better and better and better. And eventually I got off the gym floor. Pretty quickly, actually, I got off the gym floor. So I was able to quit the dungeon, get out of the dungeon. And at that point, I'd been in Sydney for 10 years, so I decided to get out. It's time to leave Sydney. I was earning pretty good money. I was remote. I had no reason to be in Sydney paying the highest rent in Australia. I was like, man, I need to get to Bali or something. So that was it. I sold all my stuff in my apartment in Potts Point. I put it all on Facebook Marketplace. If you've ever sold stuff on Facebook Marketplace, by the way, like I sold a whole house full, like an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment full of stuff, make sure you price it appropriately. I had someone come over, she took all the photos and she listed all of my every item, and it was all the IKEA stuff. I was getting slammed. I didn't realize that the biggest job wasn't taking the photos and listing the items. It was the chat back and forth with all these random people. That's another story. But I sold all my stuff, got out of Sydney, went down to Tassie for a couple of months, about 2 months, because that's where I'm from, before I moved to Bali. So I just thought I'd go hang out down there. And then I moved off to Bali. And life was good. I was working from a co-working space. I was living in Canggu, near Barawa, near Finn's Beach Club. I'd commute every morning. I'd go to Tropical Nomad co-working space. I'd take calls. I'd make follow-ups. I'd send nurture. I'd help run events. And, I'd make great cash. I got myself up to, 20 grand to between 20 and 30K a month at the time. It was, life was pretty good. And so my story from there, we built a team so that the business just kept growing and growing and growing. The success of students, the appetite of the founder, the hunger for them to grow as well. We started to grow a sales team. I led the charge with that. We built a team of 15. We took it from, around about 100K in revenue to 1.2 mil over a period of about 5.5 years. And along the way, I started to kind of enter this industry, this remote sales industry. I started to meet other people in sales, other closers. I worked with some really high-end coaches in the States. I started to close for a couple of companies in the States as well. I was up at 3 a.m. jumping on sales meetings with American sales teams, and I'd be jumping on with prospects on Zoom, selling to people from America, earning great commissions. And then, come around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'd start my day job of managing the sales team that I was leading at the time, and I did some other consulting work with other businesses as well. But I get it. So when people find out about remote sales, it's different to me because often I just fell into it. There was no moment where I found out about this industry. It was just, dude, can you take some calls? Or, hey, can I jump on and take some calls? It was just me selling stuff from my living room, trying to get off the goddamn gym floor. So it wasn't a thing. And now it is a thing. And so I get it. Every day, people are scrolling through Facebook and Instagram. They're seeing people try to sell them something. There's marketing. And you know what? There are probably some things which could be construed as scams. I wouldn't say there's a lot of scams like pyramid scheme. The definition of a pyramid scheme that I looked up is a form of investment in which each paying participant recruits 2 further participants, with returns being given to early participants using money contributed by later participants. So the people at the end, they've got their pencil, their finger in the pencil sharpener, and they get burnt. And you make money because you recruit other people into this thing and you get them to pay. You pay, and then you get other people to pay. It's not how this works. You get paid when you sell the stuff on behalf of the company that you're contracted to. The coach, the consultant, the business, you sell their stuff. You sell, you get paid. Often you're getting paid a base wage as well, depending on how you're engaged. Now, but I get there are a lot of people out there, a lot of marketers who are making big claims, and there are a lot of businesses that fail to deliver on their promises. And I think that's where, if you ever read some of the comments on my ads, you see that a lot of people are screaming scam, scam, scam. But if you go to the Trustpilot reviews of our business and you see all the amazing reviews and the people that we've helped, and if you speak to a lot of our students, it's such a different story. But because we deliver on our promises. But there are a lot of companies out there that don't deliver on their promises. So whether you want to call that a scam or just bad business, that's totally up to you. But a pyramid scheme is totally different. A true scam is, you're walking down the street of a third world country, someone asks you to play a game, and then all of a sudden you've got your pocket picked. You've lost all your belongings. That's a scam. A scam is a pyramid scheme where you're recruited and you got to pay money, and then you make money when you recruit other people underneath you. That's a pyramid scheme. What remote sales is not. It's not like traditional selling. It's not cold calling. It's not outreach. It's not getting in your car and driving to appointments. It's not that. High-ticket sales or remote high-ticket sales is typically it's selling intangible products and services on behalf of companies such as coaches, consultants, and agency owners. And I'll look through, and when I say intangible products and services, most of them are digital. It's not a car or a solar panel on your roof. You're getting access to information which gives you an outcome. So an intangible product or intangible outcome that you're selling could be a six-pack. If someone who's overweight, if you are selling an online fitness coaching program for $5,000 and the prospect has a beer belly and they want a six-pack, they've got to do push-ups and they've got to do burpees. But you're not selling the burpees or the push-ups, you're selling the six-pack. That's the intangible thing that you're selling. You're selling an outcome. You're not selling the course, you're not selling the program, you're not selling the burpees, you're not selling the push-ups, but you're selling the outcome. And that's why it's intangible. A lot of companies, I've got over here, the companies, some of the clients we've worked with in our recruiting business, there's a property buyers agency. We work with a lot of investment property buyers agencies. If you think about an investment property buyers agent, these guys, they charge $20,000 up to even more per deal. Some of them charge $50,000 when they purchase a property, and they also renovate the property on your behalf. They charge a lot of money, and often what they're doing, they might be based in Melbourne. You as a client might be based in Sydney, and the property that you're purchasing might be based in Adelaide. And they don't need an office. You don't have to go into the office to make a transaction. It all happens over Zoom. They don't even go look at the property often. A lot of the time they've got a team on the ground there, so that buyer's agent might not ever see the property that's being purchased. You might not ever see the property that's being purchased. So that whole transaction happens through the phone and over Zoom. So the sales process is the same. A business coaching company for tradies. Tradies are good at what they do, terrible at business often, and need lots of coaching. So there are successful business owners who build coaching programs to help other tradies win at business. And that looks like coaching program. There might be some curriculum online. There might be some coaching calls. There might be some one-on-one. There might be some chat. There might be a community. And ultimately what they're working towards is that intangible outcome, which is profit, high revenue, better culture. As a founder, maybe increased happiness, lifestyle. VA, recruiting business. So helping businesses get and hire VAs and bring them into their business. Again, the VAs are in overseas. The company might be in Sydney. You might be, as a customer, or the business they're working with might be in Perth. So no one's meeting, but it all happens online over Zoom, over the phone. There's a business coaching company that works just with women. purely with females entrepreneurs, helping them get out of corporate roles and build their own business. And that's a very niched coaching program that is a product that remote high-ticket salespeople sell. There is a fitness business coaching company. There is a business coaching company for engineers. There's another female-led business coaching company, so helping females build a business. Another tradie coaching company, a company that helps, it's another agency that helps people build a business. This is a really weird one, but helps people build a business where you're managing, the business is managing OnlyFans talent and taking a clip. And that's a real business. There's real customers that are getting real results, that are making really good money. Some of these OnlyFans kind of management done for you agency services, they help the clients make really crazy money, but also they make a lot of money as well. Lots of business coaching businesses. So these are the types of businesses and I guess products and services that you would be selling as a remote high-ticket salesperson. One of the benefits is that you are normally dealing only with inbound leads. So there's no cold calling, there's no outreach. You're not having to get the yellow pages or go knocking on doors or digital doors, knocking on cold doors, outreaching on LinkedIn. You're just dealing with leads that have come inbound. The companies are marketing heavily to bring leads into their ecosystem so that you can engage with them, take them through a process, and then close them at the end. Now, the lead warmth varies. It could be still cold. They might have just seen an ad, clicked an ad, entered their details, and gone back on with their day, and they've not really engaged or put their hand up to say, I want a phone call, I want to find out about what you do, but it's still not stone cold. They still have a bit of affiliation or familiarity with the brand. It's $3,000 or more. That's where the high ticket comes into it as well. High ticket means $3,000 or more. Traditionally, it's very hard to sell $3,000 products or services without a salesperson, without a human. Back in a while ago, marketing businesses or companies would sell digital products, info products, such as ebooks for a low ticket amount of money, and programs like The Truth About Abs. The Truth About Abs was like one of the first ebooks, and there was so many products that fit that kind of description, that category of product. Low ticket, $7, $47, a couple of $100. But what tends to happen is you get a huge amount of customers who then still have customer inquiries. So you're having to manage lots and lots of customers who are not paying very much. And so the business model flipped to less customers who are paying more. And that's a much better business model. But in order to get a customer to make an investment, make a big investment, make a large high-ticket investment, you need a human on the call. So hence why this industry of high-ticket salespeople has exploded, is because this whole industry of intangible products, coaching programs, agency services is booming. You're not selling to your mates. You're not sitting down, inviting people over for dinner and then getting out the PowerPoint presentation and saying, hey, look at this Amway, look at these Tupperware containers. Do you want to be part of it? You're not doing that. You're selling to real prospects who have real problems. You're selling them real products for real companies. I've heard a lot about these water filters as well. There's a thing called, I don't even know what it is, but Ignatic. So I have no idea what Ignatic is. I see them on my ads all the time. People commenting, is this Ignatic? Is this water filters? Is this MLM? Is this a pyramid scheme sort of water filter? And I want to clear the record now. I love water filters. We only drink filtered water. I never drink tap water. But this water filter thing is not high ticket selling. That's network marketing. It looks like it's network marketing where you make money by recruiting other people. It's not technically the pyramid scheme. It's just a business model that this company has. And that's certainly not what remote high ticket sales is. And anyone who claims that this is high ticket sales is not being fully truthful. So yeah, I love water filters, but definitely don't sell them. And I guess I want to summarize and wrap things up that even though there are companies out there that might under deliver on their promises, which doesn't just apply to online businesses and companies in this space, it's across every industry. If you've ever worked with a company or worked with a business or been delivered a service or a product that didn't deliver on the promises, then you feel a bit let down. Now, whether you've been scammed or not, in that case, you may not have been scammed. It might have just been the business delivered a shitty service. True scams, I believe, there's not many out there. Facebook have such tight rules when it comes to advertising. So hard to put an ad up. They get rejected all the time if they sort of meet certain criteria. It's really hard to get stuff through Facebook and get stuff out there. And honestly, most companies are legit. Most online businesses are legit. Some you need to thoroughly vet, because some do under deliver, and they don't. They sell you the world and they deliver you an atlas. So you have to be careful about that. But it's not just exclusive to coaching programs, products that you see on the internet. It's applicable to every single industry. Now, the real scam in my eyes is the 9 to 5. It's the traditional system that we've all been brought up in. It's the system that says you've got to go to school, you've got to get good grades, you've got to go to university, and at that point you can then get a job. And then you get a low-paying job, and you've got to work through the system, be a really good employee, get your promotions, and someday, eventually, you'll be able to retire with your superannuation, maybe your pension, and you can go and go for a caravan trip around Australia or something like that. I think that's the dream that we've all been sold, and that certainly for me feels like a scam. That is the scam, honestly. Now, I'm passionate about helping people get high-paying skills so that they can be more valuable, so that they can command more of an income. And I hate the office. I hate going to an office. I love working from home. I love being able to travel when I want to travel. So that's the way I like to live my life. I love having flexibility. I hate being locked into a 9 to 5 or having to go to an office 5 days a week. It just does, nothing could put me off more than that. And that's me. So I like to help people who are that way minded, who are stuck in that type of an arrangement where they're on a bit of a pathway, which is very incremental salary raises, they're getting paid for their time, they're swapping time for money. And in this industry, you're still swapping your time for money, but you're swapping your time for big amounts of money, and you're doing it from home. And you're able to do it from anywhere in the world with Wi-Fi. So that's why I love it. So to summarize, high ticket sales, not a scam. Pyramid schemes are a scam. This is not a scam. And in my eyes, it is the best way to make money online that I personally know about. And it certainly changed my life. So that's the episode. If you've loved the episode, if you found it valuable, make sure you hit subscribe.